Alright, putting together a late night review. It's Monday morning here, but still Sunday night, I guess, back in the States. So, uh, I guess technically Sunday night here, whatever. Anyway, long term, big picture in S&P 500 ETF. SPY is uptrend. Recent trend action is a little sideways action for the past couple months. Had a little compression, broke out to all-time highs on good volume. So wide range ATR, the past 4 bars, about 2.5, the average of them, just to this one, these couple in here. Stocks at all-time high. We did come off a wide range day, closing on the high. So, maybe expectation in the morning was an 80-20, but definitely after 10 o'clock. We get any cove scenarios, maybe like holding just around the opening range high, they could definitely buy because there's zero resistance, above the all-time high. So intraday, what we got, we opened up, tested down is what we like. Tested right to the. Let me see. You just really get the opening range high there. So, test the opening range high, and come back down, and then kind of hold just right at that level. Trading right around it. So I think at any point, maybe you could have paid the breakout, the new all-time high, and you put your stop below here. So, maybe a good trade right there. That's definitely following all my rules. That would be a full cove H and an uptrending stock outside the opening range after 10 o'clock. Above the past 3 days range, we didn't gap up a ton. Wasn't a gap up go up, wasn't a chase, wasn't opening spike. So definitely fits one good trade of how I follow my rules. Regeneron, biotech, healthcare sector. So big picture in Regeneron is just coming off sideways. So talking about breaking out from a lot of sideways action, like resistance failing, near the all-time high. So we still, we broke out to the all-time high or 52-week high for our purposes on Thursday, and so some volume still above average, kind of coming off a sideways, just kind of hovering above that level. So we broke out and closed higher. So we marked the prior day's time. We see that a wide range bar in Regeneron is maybe about $26. So clear skies. We talk about the most important part is lack of price rejection at the all-time high, actually holding price acceptance and new highs and volumes coming in, and we have no resistance above. So we get pretty much a flat open. We test up above the prior day's high, get a big spike right after that. So our opening range high for my purposes would be 945. So right in there. So we start holding, kind of holding above the opening range high. Later in the day, I could buy anywhere in here and be following my rules, and my stop would be below VWAP. So it was about 250, pretty reasonable in a $475 stock. Yeah, I'd say so. Another winning trade. Just by simply following Cove rules in a trending stock with no resistance overhead. After 10 o'clock, basically after 9:45 outside the opening range, right? So just as long as I stick to the rules, the process is what's going to help me avoid bad trades. So Shop's a little different. So Shop is technology sector, so the wide range days in Shop are about $4. This being an outlier day, obviously, I think we could all say that. Big picture in Shop is long-term uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Recent trend action is we found resistance at the all-time high of 95.88. Since then, since this wide range gap down day, we've kind of just been going sideways. So just kind of waiting for price to pick a direction. The bigger picture trend is still up. So we get above the past 3 days high. You knew that there was some potential resistance here around 95.88. So had that level marked, but we get above the past 3 days high, being 93.70. You could start looking for H opportunities there. So intraday, you know, we opened flat, just kind of chopped sideways. So it had the prior day's high, just prior day's high marked at that point. You know, it was right here. So you know, even at this point right here, the opening range high being, you like how I got it O range. Yeah, I got that idea from you. That's good shit. So you know, opening range high is right there. We're above the prior day's high, being above maybe the you know, recent maybe like 16 days trading high. So you're going sideways off the open. We, you know, break out, and then there's a nice little window. Prior resistance becomes support. Intraday, you are buying below potential resistance on the daily, but it's still like a buck away. So you know, if I can buy in here with my stop, you know, about 50 cents away, even if I put it to VWAP, I think is, you know, as far as the way I need to put it. Still is like a 2-to-1, but we know that, you know, the all-time high and, you know, potential resistance could be here. So anyway, we start holding above at the new all-time high, just kind of going sideways above here. So I'm buying anywhere in here, risking, you know, down to VWAP. Maybe not the best risk reward, but still winning trade. So, and once again, the bigger picture being with that ladder trade is no resistance above in an uptrending stock. You know, haven't gone too far too fast, no opening spikes, no big gaps, you know, outside the opening range high. Amazon's consumer cyclical wide range ATR is about 22 bucks. A couple days like this, just like looked at a few of those days. So you know, big picture is a long-term uptrend. You know, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Recently, just kind of going sideways for 5 days, just underneath the all-time high. We had marked around $1,000, and it being like a pretty, you know, important psychological number, big round number at the all-time high. So you know, you could have anticipated that being a level that a lot of people are looking at. You know, anyway, so as you can see from the daily chart, we open lower, so it's already a positive. For what we like, if we're expecting to break out to the all-time highs, is a lower open. We open below the level. We test down to the prior day's close, which is fucking awesome. Then we go up. We break out to the all-time high and start going sideways. So, you know, the opening range high is at 945. It's right here, somewhere in there. So, you know, above the opening range high, above the all-time holding price acceptance at the all-time high. So you know, I could have bought in here, risking down to VWAP, $2.50 and $1,000 stock. I think is pretty reasonable risk. It's a Cove H at that point. We're at all-time high, no resistance above. In an uptrending stock, so trading is a trend trade. So you know, you get what you get out of it. It's just you know, I'm just taking, you know, all the checks in my favor and can only place a trade, and it's anywhere in here, right? Could have used this $1,000 level, prior resistance become support. You know, so maybe you could even risk less. Not, you know, obviously $1,000 stock. I can't buy that many shares. Like, you know, fucking what? I can't even buy like 10 shares of it. I think, could be wrong. Yeah, my brain's not fully functional right now. So TGTX. So you know, we're working our way down from the better trades to the worst trades. So TGTX is a, you know, penny stock. It's a biotech. It's not currently trending. So the big picture is, you know, we had a big volume gap day. We were trending for a little bit, but since then we're kind of trapped in this range. But you can kind of see that there was a, you know, kind of like a prior level in here around this like 13, you know, 12.50, $13 area. And I think, you know, if we could see that we get above here, there's really no, you know, potential resistance, so maybe around 15. So a little window of opportunity, kind of some volume in the background. Like, not the best trade, but I think like you're getting above, you know, at least $13. Call it that you're, you know, above the past month's high. I mean, it's a biotech, it's a penny stock. Like I said, got some volume in the background, so it's letting you know to pay attention. So you know, just a thought there. Intraday, you know, we do. So you know, what are some reasons to say like, okay, what's my trigger? Well, I had this level, but also now coupled the break of the level with an intraday uptrend of higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. You know, kind of holding on this level. This is a biotech. You know, pennies are in play when there's volume. So it's definitely a volume day. Volume's good in these up moves. So you know, trigger could have been just crossing this level. Trigger could have been having this on the list. I really wouldn't want to trade this in this range. So once we get above, these past few days highs, because we weren't really trending, I mean, you could make an argument of, it's just really going sideways. So anyway, so get an intraday uptrend, holding above the level. So kind of just go long anywhere in here with the stop below VWAP, risk 15 cents, and make this definitely more in my price range too. So that's why I wanted it on here. And I think it's one of those things that maybe I see the uptrend later in the day. I look at this, see, okay, we're above this like prior resistance level around this whole number, and where's the next resistance? It wouldn't surprise me if we had an 80-20 on the open come Monday morning and kind of spike into 15. But obviously, I would want to avoid at that point. But I mean, if we get above 15, like we're above the fucking 52-week high, like all-time high. So just depends on how we get there, really. Last one would be ACHN. So we got another penny biotech. We see biotechs in play. Big picture is we had come off, sharp down move and sideways base. Another penny biotech as we talked about. Prior resistance level around this like 475. ATR on here maybe around like 50 cents, but since it's a penny, you can really find like a sub $5 stock. You can definitely find some like low risk areas, even if it's only moving about 50 cents in a day. This bar was like 67 cents, but coming to look, we had this. This was the really obvious prior level that like this one was like, okay, above here there's really no resistance until $7. But we had like this intermediate level around 450, kind of like 50 $half mark magnet. So we talked about volume in the background. So had this on my list too. Just kind of like touching that, like right near that 450 is where we're seeing some failure, and it was kind of a level back here as well. So maybe you could have been playing from there. Like I don't know. I think the real trade's above 475, and you see, okay, we got an intraday uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low trigger, or you call the level trigger. Anyway, we get a high level consolidation, so intraday uptrend above all resistances for a basing penny stock purpose. You risk 10 cents, and if you're held at the end of the day, maybe you only got like a out of the best out of this like 2-to-1, but yes, just another winning trade, just like combining ideas like fit my rules. And that's the best thing, is like looking at this and not a way of like how would like sugar coating or cherry picking or whatever. Just like this is literally if I followed the rules, simple rules I've laid out for myself, these are all trades that I would have taken. This being base breakout, the other ones were TGTX, maybe just kind of say penny in play, but definitely Amazon, Shop, Regeneron, SPY. Those are all just trend trades. Those are all the bread and butter trades. And we looked at all the trades from this week that were good. They were all just the fucking sick trend trades. And obviously the market's breaking out to all-time high. So even Friday, before I looked at any charts, I saw the market was breaking out to all-time high, and I knew that there were just going to be a ton of awesome trend trades, because that's what's happening when the market's trending. Is stocks are trending, right? So anyway, we'll be going live tonight, Monday. So the whole point is just to be fucking process oriented, focus on my position sizing, putting my stop further away, going short or long, less shares if need be, to make sure I have a real stop, risking appropriate amounts, making sure I'm just following my rules and judging my trades like that. So not feeling big-headed or anything, just feeling confident that I have a set of rules to focus on, and honestly, see how my emotions start to fuck with me. I'm anticipating that obviously going to real money is going to, make me want to do undisciplined things. So I'm just trying to be cognizant of that going into it. So we'll see. All right, man. Later.